Hello YouTube. Hello and welcome to Craftin with Tina. I'm your host, Joanna, and this here is everyone's favorite four-legged companion, Tina. As you can see, she's sporting her little sweater. My company is called Dog Sweater Money because I use the money that I make from crafting to support her dog sweater wardrobe. So let me see here. We're gonna get Tina set up with some food because she is going nuts. She's really ready for her food, and that will keep her hopefully calm and chilling out with us while we do some crafting today. So since this is my very first YouTube video, I'm just gonna do a quick introduction. The reason for these craft videos is to hopefully entertain people, give you all an opportunity to be creative, and at this time where there's social distancing, people aren't going out of their homes much for safety reasons, I think it's really important that we stay connected and have a sense of community. And I also know that a lot of people are home with their little kids who don't have school right now, and their kids might be bored, they might be driving you up a wall. So this show is really for anybody who just wants to do a little something fun each day, or really any age, young kids, adults. I'm so happy that you are here and watching, and so is Tina. Oh God, she just wants food, I'm sorry. She's, as the vets say, highly food motivated. So for our first craft today, it's gonna be a simple bookmark. And here is a picture of what we'll be drawing. This is a little Tina bookmark, and I'll show you how to make this. We're going to cut it out. It's gonna be super cute with her little feet hanging over the pages, and you'll also be able to color it, customize it, and whatnot. For the supplies, I'm picking just very simple supplies that people hopefully already have at home, because I know that many of you are, for obvious reasons, trying to avoid going out to stores right now to just limit contact with other people for the moment. So I am just using some basic supplies, and let me zoom here so you can see what you'll need for today. So an X-Acto knife will be wonderful for this project if you have one. If you don't though, we're gonna use scissors, so don't fret. Also, just, you know, general disclaimer here. Young kids, be careful with blades. Ask your parents for help so that you don't cut yourself. Also, adults, be careful with blades because no one should be cutting themselves, obviously. Pencil. I like to use a Sharpie marker to do a bold outline, but you can also use a variety of markers, colored pencils, crayons, anything you have on hand really. And then here we have our googly eyes, which are completely optional, but I always think a person should have googly eyes in their house. Some people are stocking up on toilet paper right now. I stocked up on googly eyes. All right, so this next part of the video, I will be flipping the screen so that you have a better vision of what I'm doing and it's not all upside down for you. Okay, so this is for all skill levels, so I'm going to explain just a little bit about drawing basics for those of you that might learn from that. When you're looking at an art subject to draw, you want to break it up into basic shapes. So for instance, Tina's face here is like a big circle. She looked up because she heard her name. Below it, it's a little like a rectangle, but then we just soften the edges a little. And then of course, those big, beautiful bat ears are like triangles. So that's the basics. Here is how I would draw this. Let's start with a circle. And remember, this is not something that you need to do perfectly. This is about having fun, learning a little bit, maybe creating something that you can enjoy or you can give to someone else to enjoy. So here's a circle for her head. And then I'm gonna draw kind of a chunky rectangle underneath that, just to get those basic shapes in place. And then we want to mark where her feet would be. So you can also do, how about let's do like little letter U's here for her feet. And those are gonna dangle over the bookmark and be super cute over the book pages. Then here, we're gonna do the same kind of thing for her legs. Just a U and a U. And then we'll connect that there in the middle. So now you're seeing we're starting to get the basic shapes. We'll add big triangles here to the top. And I like to make them nice and smooth because, you know, she's a pup and she's got round ears. They're not perfectly triangular. And then we'll do some facial features. So I'm giving her a heart nose, make it a little kawaii, as they say. Kawaii being a term for basically anything that's just over the top adorable. So as you can imagine, if you know me at all, I really like things that are kawaii. Then from here, you just do a line down from the middle of that heart. And again, sort of that U shape on either side. Over top, we're gonna do a big curve. And that gives that nice little wrinkle that Boston Terriers have. Tina is a Boston Terrier, which is America's first breed. And I'm incredibly biased, but I think also America's most adorable breed. I like to put a little stripe here, which can be almost like a triangle here at the top. Boston Terriers have a little stripe of white there. Then we have our eyes, and like I said, googly eyes are also good for this. So just a circle on either side, and then depending on where you put the black circle on the inside, it kind of changes the mood. Like, is she gonna look directly at you, having it in the middle? I kind of like putting mine off to the side there. It's a little more playful. Okay, so we have now a pretty good outline of what we're going to make, and now it's up to the next part, which is the most fun part, which is decorating a little bit. Let's check in with Tina, see what she's up to. Come here, baby girl. Sorry, I talk to her in a baby voice and treat her like a little baby because look at that face. Sometimes, you know, you gotta coax her with treats to stay nearby. Other times, she just wants to be right on this little chair next to me while I'm making artwork. I love it, I love the company, and I think she just likes to be in the middle of the action. She wants to know what's going on. All right, baby girl. Okay, for our next step, as I mentioned, my favorite step, you can see Tina currently is trying to find whatever little bit of food she has left. I have a feeling that this is going to be a real theme for the Craftin With Tina YouTube show. What I like to do when I outline is do a nice bold black outline. That's my preference. You can use other colors if you'd like. And as I go, I just use the outlines that in shapes I've already made, but I just kind of smooth them out and make them maybe just a little bit more to my liking. We've got her paws here, so again, those are those U's. Her little heart nose. Yeah, that's right, Tina, I'm talking about you. Her little mouth. Yeah, I'm talking about you. And the stripe above her face. This part here, you can either complete and put a line along the bottom of her face, or you can keep it without a line. We're going to do her eyes. And here you have the opportunity to just add some little details. Like I'm going to add in a couple of lines to indicate she's got her paws here. And then if you wanted to get a fun sweater for her, you know, after all this is dog sweater money, we would just draw a line across the bottom. Oh, I know. Life is so awful when you've gotten to the end of your food. Pause that thought. I'm going to get some more food for Tina. So Tina is taking a short nap, and I'm going to finish this up while she's taking a nap and show you the rest of the steps. Okay, so here we were just working on a little sweater, and I think this is fun because you can do all kinds of patterns, whatever you like. So you could do some stripes, you could do polka dots, hearts, flowers. I think I'm gonna do flowers for this one. So here's a little pro tip. When you're doing a pattern, it really helps make it feel, what would be a good word? Just more pleasing to the eye, I guess, if you bring that pattern over to the edge. So here I'm drawing these flowers, but there's going to be some places where, oh, maybe you only see a little corner of a petal. Oh, maybe there's a couple petals here. And when you think about it in real life, if you have a shirt or something with a pattern on it, it's not all of the shapes perfectly there in the middle. You always have a few that sort of start to look like they're going off the edges. And personally, that's just something that I learned over time making little drawings like this, that it really looks better when you use up all of the space all the way to the edges and not just the middle. So now she's got almost like a little moo-moo that she's rocking. We're going to get an eraser and erase our pencil lines next. So my favorite eraser, I believe the brand is called Staedtler. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's just this white sort of rubbery eraser. They sell them at any craft store that you can think of. You can see mine is kind of down to a nub. I need to get a new one because I use this one a lot. What I like about it is that it's not going to leave behind any streaks or marks. But I know that that is a little more a tool that someone would have if they are an artist or maybe they draw regularly. If you don't have that, I'm sure you have some alternative eraser in your house you can use. My only suggestion would just be test erasing a small part with the eraser that you're going to use, because if it's going to streak, you don't want to use that eraser. You want to find a different one. I had an experience when I was in the first grade. I had put all of this work and effort into making a drawing, and at that time we were using this real thin paper. Some of you might remember it. It was called Manila. I'm not a fan of Manila paper. It was sort of yellowish and very thin. It was probably something used just because it was economical. But I remember using just my regular pencil eraser, and that little bit of metal on the pencil eraser scraped the paper up and just rippled all the paper up. And I was so upset that I told my teacher, I said, please don't showcase this drawing. I don't want anyone to see it. And luckily she was very understanding, because you know, sometimes you just want to put your best foot forward, and you don't want to display something unless you're happy with it. So here we go. This is all nicely erased. It's looking pretty profesh. I'm going to do a little coloring. Let's see, we're going to give her, let's make it kind of springy. We'll give this some yellow. She's going to look like she is on her way for vacation. And spring is indeed on the way, so we do have that to look forward to. Hopefully some warmer days, not having to wear so many layers, and some sunshine. Maybe going out in the backyard. Tina's gonna run around, get some fresh air. That's the sound of me choosing colors here. I'm gonna choose maybe blue. Blue seems good. And while I'm putting these patterns, notice I'm kind of avoiding the leg because, you know, maybe she's sporting a sleeveless top there. Okay. Oh, now I've done it. Now I don't know if I've added too many stripes or I want to add more, but that is part of the joy of making things, is that you can choose on your own how you want it to look, and if things don't go quite as you expected, you just sort of play with it until you get a result that you like. And because this is a pretty simple project, doing this on paper, you can make many of them. You can try again if you're not happy with the results. And by all means, don't limit this to just making a dog bookmark. You're only limited by your imagination. You can make a dinosaur. You can make a moth. It's also a pope. That's a little reference to the Mighty Boosh for any of you that are fans. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. You know, let's take a risk here. Let's do doing a little plaid. Okay, looking pretty good. Our next step, we're just going to cut around the edges. Okay, we've now cut around the edges. We have the start of a cute bookmark, but what would make it super cute, you ask? How about if we have these little feet pop up over the pages? So for this, I am going to use an X-Acto knife. As I mentioned before, be careful when using the blade. don't press too hard. You can just do gentle swipes along the outline, and it might take a few. Let's see. Sometimes you just have to start with a light outline with the blade, and then as you go along, just keep dragging over that outline again. And you'll need to do that a few times for each side for it to cut open. You'll see it takes a little bit of practice. But again, just going slowly, keeping your fingers away from the blade, and applying just a medium amount of pressure. You don't want to apply too much because you could actually lose control of the blade and end up hurting yourself. You can see this kind of pops out now. Now let's try the other side. If you don't have an X-Acto blade, you can use scissors and just be sort of careful and precise. You won't get quite as clean of a line as you might with an X-Acto knife, but scissors are certainly adequate for something as simple as these U shapes. We're not doing anything, we're not doing like some complicated lace craziness. All right, we'll be back with the final result. Tina's up from her nap. She's ready to say hello, and we have our little bookmark, our little Tina Dog Sweater Money bookmark. And now, I mentioned earlier the word Kawaii. This is a book I happen to have about decorating cakes, Kawaii cakes. It's super cute, obviously. And just want to show you real quick how we can pop this into the book. So now we have this gorgeous bookmark, handmade, one-of-a-kind original, and I hope you have fun with this project. Maybe do a little bit of reading here as you're home and have some extra time, and I'll see you again. We will see you again tomorrow.